Hi there and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to be going over some more CDs. And I thought I would start with Timespace. I'm not sure that I'm going to get through, I'm not sure what I'm going to get through today, but I did want to start off with some stragglers that I still found going through my CD stuff from the 80s that I missed from some of the prior videos. Stuff that I have come across. As I mentioned, some stuff was missing. And the first one we're going to find is an undated, another tribute album. This one is by the London Rock Orchestra and guests. There is no date anywhere on this. I think on maybe Discogs it might say, having a assumptive date, but I'm not too sure. This one as well has a nice write-up about Fleetwood Mac. It says it's from the UK, and there is nothing on it as late as Tusk that would indicate it came out any later than the 80s. Could have been the 90s, but again, not too sure. So, whereas, again, a lot of the CDs that you'll discover that I have in my collection aren't maybe directly Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, they're still Fleetwood Mac and, part of the family. So, just a regular CD. This also is really nice. When I mentioned an earlier one, it's pretty nice. This again is kind of a Muzak type thing, but it's just nice background music if you want to listen to Fleetwood Mac, but not have it too rock and have a little bit more chill or something. So this is a good one. After that, I had a rare one, and I actually don't know much about this to be perfectly honest, and that's me. I just haven't really done any research. My bad. But this is Pete Barden's with Mick Fleetwood. And this is just a single. It has no insert, it has nothing. It is Whisper in the Wind, a remix version with an LP version. And again, by Pete Barden's. It's a promo only, not for sale, and it came out in 1988. Just something I picked up. But what I'm not too sure about is the rest of the material. So I can't give too much more information about that. Maybe it's something I'll look into more when I get into the photo albums, because there could be that I have more information via pictures than I do music. So there's that one. Next up, we have kind of a weird one that I know came out in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, and that was the band Camper Van Beethoven, who had come out with their entire rendition of Tusk. Now, Camper Van Beethoven was kind of a college indie rock band of the 80s into the early 90s, and they've separately done projects that I really dig, and I can't think of the other band that one of the members is in. It's on the tip of my tongue, but they've all done things that I really like. They're an interesting band. They're just kind of college indie rock, alt rock music. And this is a love it or hate it kind of album because it's done with love. There's a little comedy in it as well. Starting off with the cover with the jackalope, which is kind of funny, and the back, kind of a play on the artwork that we discussed with the. Well, I don't know if this is going to be shown before I've shown the albums or not, but I just did a video on the albums and the inside artwork. It's very hard to read this, but it talks about them having done it. They had done some songs, and they just kind of went for it. And it looks like it says 2000, 2002. I thought it was earlier than that, but even if it's earlier or later, I'm just going to kind of get it out of the way anyway, because it's normally not filed with my Fleetwood Mac stuff. It's normally filed under C for Camper Van Beethoven. But it's a very interesting album. It's hard to come by. It's not obscure. It's just, it seemed like it came out very. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen too many copies. Let's put it that way. It looks like it was published by Pitch a Tent in Athens, Georgia. So I don't know if it was a limited release or what, but I was lucky enough to get my hands on it. Something else along the same line was the band, a current band, or duo I should say, called Cunningham. can't remember the other part of it, but they came out this year, I want to say, with a full rendition of Buckingham Nicks. And it's Cunningham Picks or Cunningham something like that, where they've done the whole album, kind of similar to this. I think there is one other band who has done an album of Fleetwood Mac or Stevie Nicks in their entirety, and I can't remember who that is. It could be Black Widow, but when I get into the albums, because I think I have it. I think there's one more in there somewhere where somebody has covered an entire Fleetwood Mac album start to finish. And to my knowledge, also, this is only available on CD. So, again, just if you're a person like me, obviously a completist, or who's just fond of all things Fleetwood Mac Stevie related, this is kind of a cool find. This also has no date on it. This is just weird. I picked this up solely for the cover. Fleetwood Mac is on it, but the song that's on there is an early Fleetwood Mac song. This is out of Germany with no date. But, you know, Billy Idol's on it, but that doesn't mean much. It could be, let's see, the oldest or the most current thing, I should say, that's on here. Well, it says some of it is live. Actually, all the songs on there are supposed to be live renditions. So it's hard to say when they were cut live. And the Fleetwood Mac song that's on there is Oh Well. And it sounds like old Fleetwood Mac, like pre-Buckingham Nicks. So that doesn't help me any as far as coming up with the date of when this could have been released. So it's a pure guess. It's just a fun little have. I like looking through various artist LPs and CDs. Came across this one, saw the artwork, and picked it up just for that. So that one was kind of cool. This I did miss. This came out in '88. This is a great find. B.B. King. And Mick Fleetwood is all over this doing drums, but there's a song, track 3 on it, called Can't Get Enough, which features Stevie Nicks' vocals. Great song. This is actually a great album. B.B. King, a legend, fabulous, fabulous musician. Not much on the inside, but Mick Fleetwood is on almost every track. I'm guessing that is how Stevie Nicks came to be involved as well. I have neither read or heard her talk too much about this. I'm sure it's out there. Maybe it's just something that I have heard and I've overlooked and just haven't heard that often. Not too sure, but this is also a really cool find. This is on vinyl. I do not have it on vinyl. I only have it on CD. But this came out in 1988. Again, B.B. King, King of the Blues. It says 1989, but the back of it says 88. And the song is Can't Get Enough. Stevie Nicks, B.B. King featuring Stevie Nicks. So there's that one. And lastly, that was it for the 80s stuff. So now we can get on to, like I said, Timespace, almost. In 1991, just before Timespace came out, this Bob Welch compilation had come out. Again, related to Fleetwood Mac. And I do believe that the Ebony Eyes on here is the one with Stevie. I could be mistaken. But it's still a great collection of Bob's work on here. There's a picture of him when I think Stevie performed with him. And actually, I can't remember which festival that was. But yeah. Nice little write-up about him. Stevie Nicks is mentioned in here several times, as is Mick Fleetwood and Lindsay. But yeah, this is I have a few Bob Welch compilations, both on CD and on vinyl, and this is just another one. The only one this one's lacking, unfortunately, is Hypnotized, but there are plenty of other great songs to keep you entertained if you like Bob Welch. And as I've mentioned, I'm a huge Bob Welch fan as well. I really like his vocals. I really liked his work with Fleetwood Mac. And yeah. Now we get into Timespace. So first we're going to start off with the regular album. And this is the original This is a Columbia House US release. We'll notice, I'm not too sure if the variants are as much so on the, no. So again, I think the my cassette videos will be out before this one, and I apologize. I've tried to film a lot because I just really want to get as much content out to everybody as possible. But I still haven't put the order of some things. But on the cassette tapes, I had shown that there were two different types. There was the one where we had this beautiful photo and her name like this. Other ones had this photo, and then there's what I called a shield, and it was like this gold piece with her name in it and Timespace. Almost all the CDs certainly all the CDs that I have just have this writing on it. There's nothing with the gold shield on it, which kind of stood out as different. And I don't know. Yeah, there's just nothing to give you another example of what I mean by that kind of shield. There's just like a gold plate, if you will, or I call it shield because it kind of had a funny outline like a shield, and it said inside of it Stevie Nicks Timespace. So regular US version, not much to see here that wasn't on the cassette, just the regular booklet inside. It was nice to get this. I believe when I first obtained this album, I got this on CD. It was quite a while before I got the vinyl, because the vinyl was only released by Columbia House on vinyl. Otherwise, you had to get an overseas copy of the UK. There was no official US release other than Columbia House. So when this came out, really the only way to get it was CD or cassette. Because Columbia House, it took them a while to have it on vinyl themselves. But all the US vinyls will say on the back Columbia House. So this is the CD. And then you have the standard back version, and this is where it says Columbia, or BMG, but the equivalent of Columbia, let's put it that way. And I do lop them together, I apologize. They are different. But BMG is just basically another Columbia House. Same thing, different name. This is another one. Same thing, except the back, little small nuances. Just these parts here. But this one is obviously not Columbia House, and it has also the two press or hype stickers. So this one would show that this is the, what's new on it, which is pretty cool. This would usually indicate that it makes it a promo, but I don't believe it says anywhere on the CD that it is a promo. It does not. And everything about it on the inside is exactly the same as the other version I just showed. So then we have another one. This one is Japan. So this one shows Japan writing on the edge there, and then American here. The right way. And then this one, you can see the CD is different. And I believe everything, I don't think there's anything different in the, there is. It gets to a part here where it goes into Japanese. So we have most all of it, all the information in English. And then it goes to Japanese. But there is no, that's just for a few pages. Then we're back to English. And we go to Japanese. So I think it's all the talk that she does about the songs. Then it's translated. And then it goes to the lyrics. And then the lyrics are translated. So really nice. Again, a little bit thicker of a packet as a result. This did not come with an OB. There wasn't one stuck in there. It could have come with an OB strip. But when I purchased it, it was not included. So I really can't be sure. Next up we have, let's see, sorry about that, we have a single from it, And I think I'm going to go, I think it should be in this order. Yeah, so it should be in this order. So the next one is this beautiful. This was, again, I had shown you one similar to this, I think for Wild Heart, where there's really a pretty graphic, or also Other Side of the Mirror, where there's a real pretty graphic on there. And this was really neat to see. It just doesn't do it justice until you see it in person. Now, one of my favorite photos, well, it is a really pretty photo, but it just kind of comes across weird. But on the CD, I just think it's stunning. I think it looks really neat on the CD. So this was a promo for Love's a Hard Game to Play. And it has the back insert. On the sides. White on this side, black on this side. Then we have Love's a Hard Game to Play. This was a really unique little 6-track that came from Japan. This one I do think has an obi. Mine does not. But I think there was, I would say special packaging, but I think, sealed. There might have been an obi. But definitely a cool disc to have. This has these tracks on the back here. Loves a Hard Game to Play with some extras. See all the Japanese writing here. CD is very nice. The same font, but in blue. Really nice. And then really nice textured little booklet inside, which was a huge deal. Just kind of breaks down some of what's already in there. Additional photos. Kind of almost like the UK packaged 45 that I had shown that had the 3 fold-out pictures. In fact, these 3 that are in here. But different, but from Japan. And that is a back photo. This will be on a picture that you'll see later on the press kit when I decide to do a video on press kits for all the albums, all the press kits that I have. So that was kind of a cool find. Pretty available, I would say. Not super rare or anything like that. Then we have the American promo for Sometimes It's a Bitch. Very similar. Kind of keeps that... kind of keeps a theme sort of on it. Here's one of the other ones. Seems like it did. Anyway, this is the front of it. Boy, I need new CD cases so bad. I've had these for ages, so they have moved a lot. They have been opened, looked at, played, shown. The CD, just beautiful. I love that little extra bit of artwork on it. I think that's real nice. I like it shows on the back. And this is a US promo with just the one song, and one version, I should say. And that is I think the regular running time of 4 minutes and 37 seconds for that. Out of the way. Then up next we have let's get all the Timespace stuff down here. We have the Sometimes It's a Bitch out of Holland, slim case, same cover as the US single. Inside we have inside that I don't think there's anything inside. Nope, just all white. This one I'll keep out because I think that, and it took me a long time to realize that the difference really, I hadn't thought there was much difference, but then this one is from the UK and everything about it is the same. This is sealed, but it took me a long time to realize that the CDs were different just by that. See how this one has the square part and this one, sorry, does not. Small differences, but each one has the same song. Sometimes it's a bitch, Desert Angel, and Battle of the Dragons, and they're all the same runtime and such. It's just one is Holland, one is the UK, and literally this one is just highlighted in yellow, whereas this one doesn't have that little square around it, which I just thought was kind of funny. After that, we have the, I think to go in the same vein, I will show this one here before I move on to the next one, which would be the Japanese mini version of this. And this one has same thing. Sometimes it's a bitch, Desert Angel, and Battle of the Dragons. Just got this one. Very happy to have received it. It's one of those ones I hadn't picked up yet and put the call out, the Stevie Nicks signal, and somebody came through. Had it available to buy. After that, I have a compilation sample the hits so far. This one I didn't know about for a few years. I want to say I got this one around 97. It was a really cool find. This is out of the UK, but this had come out around the time of Timespace. Obviously in advance, I would say, of Timespace to promote it. And this had Rooms on Fire, I Can't Wait, Edge of 17, Stop Dragging My Heart, and Stand Back. Nothing on the inside, no back sleeve, just a back piece that wants to fall out. And this is the CD itself. It just has that little top part here. It's cool. It's funny. The little log notes here say 5-track sampler of Stevie's greatest hits to whet your appetite for her forthcoming stunning new album. Oh, Street Angel. This should go Street Angel stuff. Oops. Released in March. The new single, Blue Denim, will be released soon after. Stevie's anticipation to the new album. Check out track 2 on this CD. Interesting. I had that with Timespace. It was all the blue. So I'm going to set that aside and probably re-show it again because I don't know that I'll get to Street Angel. So, oops. This definitely went with Timespace. And also everything looked the same. So this one out of the UK, wow. What a numbnut move. This one out of the UK, this one is another Winco buy. My God, when I saw it, I about lost my you-know-what. This was really cool to get this one. Love all the browns, love all the artwork on this one. And this one had Can't Wait, I Can't Wait, Edge of 17, I Can't Wait 12-inch version, and Sleeping Angel. And this definitely says taken from the album Timespace. Didn't fudge that one up. So I think we can make it through the 1992, and I think that's what we're going to do. I think I can get through that and make this pretty decent. So after that, we have the Chain box set, which came out in 92, 93. I want to say it came out like December of 92. I know that I had my dates down for that, for the the 45s, but again, there's only so much information I retain at one time and per video, and I really do start these just wanting to talk to you about them. I don't try and practice anything or have something down. I just try and get things in order and some information as much if I think it's something you might want to seek or when it comes to singles. So this one again, I just put them in the order of which I know they came out beforehand. So just before the CD came out, the box set, I do know for a fact that this was a sampler, a promotional only sampler, that was a 2 CD set. Now this was kind of interesting. No, this is the one. This was really interesting of all places. No, it was the second one. This one I found at a record store, maybe in 96, 97. Hadn't known about this one. Kind of cool. Grateful to have the front part with the sticker and everything like that. It did feature all the new songs on it. Pretty sure I'm right. Yes. No. Yes. This does have. So this one was, it was neat. It was neat to have a promo only 1 CD single that had some greatest hits, but also had all 4 of the new songs from the box set. I don't know about you, but I mean, if I had found this first, it took me a while to be able to afford the box set for what the prices were and such. And then I was at the time I was the person who like wanted the cassette box set and the CD box set. CD box set being more important. But I hadn't been able to get it for a while. And it took me a couple years to get it, which I eventually got at Logos as a secondhand, as a used copy before years later, they got real cheap. And I was able to get a sealed copy of it, sealed copy of the cassette one, etc. But, had I been able to get my hands on this one at the time, it would have been really cool because, again, it was 1 CD. It was a promo only, and it had all 4 of the new songs on it. And this was also before streaming, so, it was a chance to hear all 4 new songs without putting out all the money to get the box set at the time. Would have been pretty cool. Well, what I was about to go into was, of all places, again, I grew up partly in Santa Cruz, California. And there's a little town adjacent to Santa Cruz called Scotts Valley. And for whatever reason, well, I lived there actually as well, but it might as well be Santa Cruz. We went to Kmart in Scotts Valley there, and Kmart, out of nowhere, Kmart had a vast selection of CDs at this small town one-off Kmart that, was Kmart was already kind of starting to die out. And I found this CD at Kmart and about lost my mind because this is from Australia. This is a 2 CD set. It is not a promo. It's just a 2 CD set. Selections, 25 years of the chain. And, Kmart wasn't a UK import kind of place. And it's so funny because I found it there and I went back a couple times, not believing my luck, and was actually able to find a lot of import stuff at Kmart for like a hot minute, for like a couple months. I think possibly only one more item that was Fleetwood Mac, but it was definitely, mail order, Tower Records, occasionally a used record store, that might have had somebody who was hip and was able to, had the ability to get stuff, but Kmart was not the place. Kmart was not on my bingo card of finding really cool import rare items. This is very hard to come by. And I say that all the time, and I'm not trying to say that you can't, but I'm saying when I continuously say very hard to come by, what I mean is that I can show you 1,000 different things, and you'll see them all over eBay, all over Discogs. Things out of Australia, which I did mention that with the 45s. Things out of Australia are definitely rarer. They're much harder to come by. This is an example of that. And of all places, in this little tiny dot on the map place in California, is just really weird to find, and I'll never forget finding that. And it was like, I don't remember how much it was. It was like $20 or something like that, which was kind of a lot. But I made that happen between myself and my mom, whoever was with me. Just, this had to be had like now. I wasn't leaving the store and coming back for it. This is coming home. So I've had this since 1992, and fortunate to have had it. Um, yeah, so just the two CD set, selections from the chain. The little insert had the information that was already in there, kind of a fold out of what the box set was going to look like with all the different thank yous and such from each band member, and just again what was on this two CD set. So a really nice have, a really nice find, and something that I bought at the time and have maintained and kept all these years, which is also pretty neat. Something that you buy and you actually keep and have the original thing that you got from the time that you got it. So that was kind of cool. Next we had I think would start out Paper Doll. Is it Paper Doll that came out? Yeah, this was a US release of Paper Doll. I found this a little bit closer to 94, 95. Obviously at Tower. Kept it sealed. Did not find this like right when it came out. Definitely not. But this is a cardboard sleeve one with Paper Doll and the chain. So this was a nice have. But this one I know that I did find earlier. And this is the UK release of Love Shines. Love that song. And it has with it Love Shines plus the chain, previously unreleased alternate mix. As you know, on the box set, there's a lot of different mixes on there. Not That Funny, which was a previously unreleased live version. And Isn't It Midnight with previously unreleased edited alternate version. That's a mouthful. So that was really cool. And this one, again, CD, not much fancy about it. But just the nice UK version CD single of that. Then we had the promo-only Paper Doll. This, again, was not found until quite some time later. I just don't know where I was at in 92, 93. Really. That would have been at the time I was around 21. Might have been doing other things. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, but I am kidding. Where I was certainly definitely looking at record stores and stuff like that, but I was all over the map at 21. So, collecting was certainly still my thing, but probably, and record stores were definitely still my thing, but I was doing other things as well. Let's put it that way. So, don't always remember. So it just seems to me also that there wasn't as much that had come out that I had seen at the time, even though I was still going, or it was out there and I just wasn't paying attention or realized it was because of those other said things that I might have been doing, which were legal because I was 21 by that time. This is the cool find I had found at a I don't know, like a drugstore or something like that, in their regular CD section. And I only put it there with it because it was a cool mix of songs for the time. If you're, pop music songs. Black Velvet, I always loved that song, but I love that they had the Paper Doll song on there. And so that was kind of neat. I've seen this since on cassette, not on vinyl. But I just keep it with this release because, again, it was just neat that a new song like this was released at the same time. This came out the same year, and that it was released on a compilation album. So I thought that was kind of cool. Don't Stop, as I mentioned with the CDs, Don't Stop got re-released as a single. This was the US release, promo only. Says it on the spine there as well. Nothing much special about the CD, just promo only. And then the Don't Stop from the UK, or this one, I'm sorry, is in Germany. I had shown you again, this was kind of something that came out, I think, a while after the box set had come out, just to perpetuate more sales, I believe, because I hadn't seen it, or I think it was this one, for, again, items. And I think also that might have contributed to what I was saying earlier, is that, they had a lot of pre-stuff, and then the box set came out, and for whatever reason, I couldn't or just didn't buy the box set. And then a lot of the promo stuff, or other stuff, singles like the UK, this one and stuff, the releases were later, and I just wasn't seeing them. So maybe, I'd been in a record store one day, and then the next day it was there, and then that's just why I didn't see these for a while. Or just that whole 21 thing, which I'm going to keep making jokes about. And lastly, I'll just show the box set. This one actually is I don't know if this is my complete one. It is. I have a couple of them. When I showed the cassettes, I did not show the cassette one that I had. I forgot. It's sealed anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But, as you well know, I would imagine this was a big deal to get this booklet with all these great photos. I know a couple of them were new, including that one was just insanely crazy beautiful. A lot of people, including myself, were just in love with that. So, it's fun to get. It's fun to see these, other alternate pictures, which we had seen some in mixed books and publicity for the album, but getting this little booklet with the CDs and putting everything together, just having it all together was really nice. So it was a really nice package. I really liked how everybody wrote a little intro on things, and I love the mixes. I love the fact that there's one whole CD of pre-Buckingham Nicks. It really brings Fleetwood Mac together. Their whole work up until that point, even including, the Rick Vito and Billy Burnett time at the time, because they were still at the time a band. We thought that would last a little bit longer, but as we all know, it basically petered out at this time, so, which is unfortunate. But that wraps it up for this one. We're going to continue with, I think, some Lindsey Buckingham, maybe even into Street Angel on the next video. Wanted to thank you for sitting through with me, and forgive that one mess up with that one single that is so funny. I've had it with my Timespace forever. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great night. Bye.